In this video, I'll be going through a few popular and effective teams with a cost greater than 9.5, and what kind of teams should be used for raid battles. The first team is my main that I've spent most of my resources making. As you can see, this team follows the 2-point characters and 1 support during combat. In this case, Ice Queen is the sweeper, Sylph is the auto attacker, and Undine is the healer. Next is my Brest team. It's still incomplete, but because of the expensive cost in perfecting him, I've used some cheap impromptu skills to tide the team over. As I've said in the 9.5 cost video, Brest teams are very susceptible to stun teams, so I gave both Brest and Mino Commander Stun Reflect. Once I have the resources, I'd switch the Prim Howling for Mischief and Stun Imbue for Grand Slam. This defense team is the current standard, however I'm lacking skill levels on Yupelri to make this team more competent. Chaos Dragon and Pharaoh are both okay and you can copy their skill set if you want. Chaos Dragon isn't necessary, it was just personal preference. A Dwarf Knight would also work as a substitute if you want. The next team could be used as a main, however I would use it primarily for breaking through teams that rely on guard. For example, defense teams would fall prey to this team. This team isn't perfect. Ideally, I'd want a Grand Slam on Atar for Rapid Trick and get a Mind Progress on Sylph subbing out Stun Reflect. Glassy teams are very popular and you'll be seeing a lot of it if you're ever in a war with top level alliances. This team is also impromptu, so the skills are not perfect. Changes that are needed are Stun Reflect on Glacia, switch Mirage for Speed Spirit, and add Lava Hands and Onslaught on CHK. The Vampire team is missing some levels and Gale Armor for Toxic Breath. Depending on your preference, you can switch Round Bloom for Uber Scream. This team isn't that impressive because it's made primarily to get through and defend against Lilith. I have Ethlyn just to help the team run faster for attack purposes. The Zigguan team is semi-popular. Players would focus on getting as much MCA superiority as possible to take advantage of Coolbrand. This tactic would be an alternative counter to Gale Armor, Yupelri, and Aspie. Of course, there are different variations to this team depending on preferences and how much DP people are willing to spend. Next up is defense teams specifically targeted at bomb teams. You'll only need about 300 to 500 MC on each for it to work. However, I'd recommend having MC at 3000 to 4000. As most can guess, the way it works is for Baphomet to tag Curse on all enemy targets. This main is similar to the first one, however in this variation you switch out Sylph for Paula, and make sure she has Gale Armor. This variation also has its benefits, especially in that it can effectively counter bomb teams with a decoy skill. You could also take advantage of having such a powerful defensive skill by subbing Undine for another point character. Next up is my Angel main. It's still in the workshop so it's not ready to be tested in the fields. As for why I make a main instead of a bomb, I just like mains over bombs. It's just missing the normal main skills, progress skills, and etc. So now we have a curse heavy team. It's completely focused on stacking as much curse effects on the opponent as possible. The skills necessary follow the same rules as a defense team. There have been many Osiris teams in the arena, but they've all been one-hit wonders that cannot be relied upon in actual PvP. The team I'm showing you follows the 2 points and 1 support format. I chose to take advantage of Osiris' skill by teaching Osiris Uber Scream. Up next, I just want to show you the numbers you should be seeing if your team was built right. With this type of setup, it's not hard to deal damage in the millions. As you can see, my Ice Queen easily dealt 2.8 million damage with Diamond Dust. However, since CHK stole my Sylph's Guard, which absorbed the damage easily. If this went to turn 2, Diamond Dust would have easily reached 4.7 million in damage. Some might be asking why does it matter if you can deal damage in the millions when the max MC is 10,000. The reason is for people who use enlistment type skills. Also, being able to deal this much damage would mean that you can penetrate through mediocre guards. This battle record just emphasizes the necessity of Gale Armor and other guard type skills. Before I start, there might be a few of you that feel talking about raid battles is redundant, but the reality of the matter is that there are a lot of people in 5th season World 1 who can't get a score of 1 million. Raid battles are a great way to obtain resources to better strengthen your teams. There are 2 ways to obtain good resources. The first would be score rewards and the second would be rank rewards. Although rank rewards are competitive, score rewards used to be easy, for most people anyways. However, with the patch as of November 21st, in order to get the rewards, you will need to obtain a score of 10 million. So here are a few teams that do well against the raid bosses. You don't need to have these exact teams. You can in theory use any team you want, however it isn't mandatory that you follow the proper team setup. For example, the 2 point and 1 support is the style I prefer. Guaranteed you need Mind Progress, Gale Armor, Assault Progress, Rapid Shift, Mirage Shift, and at least 1, if not 2, range 5 active skills to sweep the raid boss team. For example, Maelstrom, Uber Scream, Venom Haze, and etc. If you don't want to go for such a complex setup, then you'd have to go for an expensive setup, with Glacia with a point character that has Onslaught and Grand Slam. I hope you liked this video and I'll continue to make more videos. If there is a specific video you want me to do for Casey, let me know in the comments and I'll try to make it.